I think a very good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to today's masterclass on the topic Transformative Power of Artificial Intelligence, organized by Sai University School of AI. We're truly honored to be joined by a globally renowned AI leader, Dr. Ajith Abraham, the Vice Chancellor of Sai University, and also the Dean School of AI. And I think before we begin today's session, we'd like to take a moment to congratulate Dr. Ajit Abraham as he had the honor of representing both India, our country, and Sai University at the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, held in Russia from June 18 to 21st, an event formally inaugurated by the President of Russia Federation, Mr. Vladimir Putin. He was invited as a distinguished panel speaker on AI and BRICS collaboration, a very high level discussion chaired by the Deputy Prime Minister of Russia, Mr. Dmitry Chernyshenko. We are incredibly proud of this global recognition and the platform it offers to showcase the impactful work by Dr. Ajit sir, also the work emerging from Sai University. Congratulations once again, sir. Dr. Abraham brings with him over 35 years of multidisciplinary research experience across the globe, and with over 1,500 research publications and more than 63,000 scholarly citations, Dr. Abraham ranks among the top not 0.01% of most cited scientists worldwide in AI and also in engineering. His research has been supported by major grants totaling over 110 US million dollars, and he has collaborated with leading scholars from MIT, Harvard, Cambridge, and Oxford. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Ajith Abraham, a true pioneer in AI, as he shares his vision on how AI can transform industries and society at large. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Nilay, for that wonderful introduction. I would like to uh, welcome all our participants for today's lecture on transformative power of artificial intelligence. I'm also the dean for the School of AI, and as all of you might have observed during the last few years, AI has been changing a lot of aspects in the society, the way we live, the way we operate, the way the businesses are getting done. I guess it is very difficult to see something which is not linked with AI. So in this lecture, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a broad understanding about the transformative power of AI and how it is reshaping certain industries, societies, and also enhancing a human potential. So, right from like accelerating discovery and innovation. So you might have seen how our COVID-19 vaccine was rolled out in less than a year's time. Typically, vaccines takes years for design to finally rolling out to the population. So AI is playing a big role in drug discovery, for example, even for I would say predictive diagnostics. For example, looking at an MRI scan and telling that this patient might have Alzheimer's in a couple of years' time, or looking at a CT scan and trying to say that probably some cancer things are coming up, and also even could offer personalized treatment. So you can imagine like AI being used for discovery to a personalized treatment. In science, I would say for those who are new to this field, AI is used for various simulations. Many times you're not able to do certain things, so we need to do simulations how certain things would happen in practice. Material design, climate modeling. Okay. Similarly, AI could be also used for personalized learning experience. You can imagine if you have a online app in your mobile phone, and you can AI can help you to enhance your learning. For example, the way you learn math or the way you learn a poem, like the sky is the limit. So AI can understand patterns and it can help you to enhance your experience, and then it can also help to improve the learning outcomes in a very big way. AI is revolutionizing industries, I would say from manufacturing to agriculture, finance. So manufacturing, I would say, from predictive maintenance, quality control, various automation, agriculture. Again, you might have seen in the media how drones are helping, farmers for precision farming, for understanding, certain uh, issues with the crop, or even understanding, the soil, etc. So AI is doing wonders. Finance, you can imagine, from fraud detection for various trading practices, or even personalized financial advisors. We can imagine various other professional domains as well, whether it is legal, whether it is medical, whether it is media, uh, whether it is healthcare. So you can imagine AI is playing a very big role. At the same time, we have seen how AI is augmenting human potential. For example, AI is used for assisting people with disabilities. For example, speech recognition for the hearing impaired, uh, enhances creativity with tools for art, music, design, and writing. And AI actually provides a nice platform for, I would say, providing new modes for human machine collaboration. So basically, AI, could be used for reshaping decision making in a very big way. For example, in smart cities, AI could be used for optimizing traffic, energy, safety. Uh, for example, public health systems could respond better to pandemics and the crisis. If you look at environment, and if you look at how AI could play a big role from predictive modeling, for example, weather forecasting, or for some natural disasters, and providing resource optimization. So AI could be used in a very big scale for reshaping decision making. It can optimize the way we make decisions. At the same time, AI could, do a lot of influence in societal uh, challenges, uh, uh, which certain technologies could not be used or could not cover up. So AI could be used in many such domains in a very big way. So AI, to put it in short words, it is not a transformative force that redefines what is possible in our world. And uh, but AI could do a lot more in various dimensions. So we have seen various revolutions in the past. Industrial revolution, from steam power, electricity, IT, modern digital revolution. So AI revolution demands thoughtful leadership, ethical oversight, and inclusive participation to ensure it uplifts humanity. So you could see AI, is playing a very big role in various domains. And what I'm going to do in the next 30 minutes or so is to, walk through, uh, what are some of the, the modern developments in AI, especially from a generative AI perspective, and how we can use generative AI as an innovation toolkit. And I guess we don't have much time to illustrate a lot of applications, but I will quickly go through some professional domains, and towards the end, I will also talk about how our university's AI program is being curated, and how distinct it is uh, when compared to other programs running in the country. So AI, like I mentioned, we are going through a revolution, and so what AI is all about? So AI is all about mimicking humans, the way we do things, the way we interact, the way we make decisions, right? We can understand the many things. While I'm talking to you, I might be also thinking about various other things. So AI is all about mimicking humans the best way we can, right? So if you look at the sky, like even a 10-year-old kid would be able to say that it might rain or it's a good day. And the kid learns this through experience, right? So AI is all about transforming or creating this experience in a software in a very simple way. And sometimes this piece of software, AI, could be used for various applications. For example, a robot in the Mars, or a robot entering a building in fire, trying to escape, people inside. Or imagine a group of robots serving as soldiers in the warfield. You might have seen drones flying around. So all these, I would say, they are more independent. So they need to interpret the world around them and learn from information. For example, they might have cameras, get real-time information, probably various sensors, heat sensors, motion sensors, various other sensors, and get information and make the right decisions, often without human intervention. So that is the basic idea of artificial intelligence. How can we mimic the way we would do the same thing? So AI is all about, like I mentioned earlier, it's about transforming the experience, or in other words, we would say learning. So just like, like as a kid, I would have learned from my parents, from my siblings, from my neighbors, from my friends, reading books, reading articles. That's how I learn things. So AI is all about creating software or some application by creating this experience in a very nice way using examples. So AI is changing the world from transportation, autonomous cars, drones, manufacturing, AI-powered robots, healthcare, from diagnosis, drug discovery, virtual nursing assistants, education, virtual tutors, even if I, for example, if I'm taking a class and if I have cameras watching you, and imagine if I'm capturing, like the faces. Some of you might be sleeping, some of you might be curiously listening to the lecture, some of you might be taking notes. So just by, like looking at the emotions in your faces, the AI module could summarize, telling that 50% of the students are probably doing something else. They are playing with their phones or they were doing something else. And then it can help me to, like ask a question or change the way I was lecturing or give an example to engage the classroom. So, like just by information at the right time, you can do, many wonderful things. Similarly, media. So nowadays, different uh, media channels produce a lot of reports, for example, financial reports or various other activities. And how can I find the time to summarize all these things? So you have automated AI agents which can, like go through all these news channels and get all these news and then summarize it and then, like produce the overall knowledge in the form of few lines. Similarly, customer service. You can have various AI assistants to produce, like whatever knowledge you want to adapt according to the situation. So nowadays, you might uh, it's very common nowadays, in many e-commerce companies, even banking, insurance, even uh, I would say universities. Nowadays, they have various, I would say, chatbots, so which interacts with the user and provides information in real time. Nowadays, with generative AI, which I will come into very quickly, the conversation becomes more, I would say, more natural. You won't even feel that it's a chatbot. So basically, it provides more interactive discussions, understanding the the customer's need, and it provides adequate answers, not just answers, but keep the conversation more engaging, more productive, which I think would be highly useful for many, like uh, I would say in the manufacturing sector or in the education sector, etc. So sky is the limit, for using AI in practice. So what AI can already do, from reading, writing, vision, hearing, understanding, speaking, smell. Imagine if we have sensors, and these information from these sensors, you can categorize them into various patterns or smell. For example, if it is some perfume or if it is some toxic gas. So basically, it is all about understanding patterns. Similarly, touch, motion, understanding emotions, playing games, debating, creativity, even reading your mind. So, uh, using some interfaces, brain-computer interface, you plug in some sensors on your scalp, and the computer can read these signals, and then uh, the system can very well understand the patterns. So what you're thinking about, and how the signals are varying from I would say user A, B, and C. So you can understand how our minds are working in certain context. So if you ask me what AI cannot do, probably it is very difficult for me to answer, because AI is now everywhere. So it's all how we use the technology in practice for solving a problem or finding an innovative solution to an existing problem, or if you want to optimize certain methodology, or you want to find a business a decision, when you have several things to consider, several constraints, and many a times you need to evaluate multiple criterias, and you need to land on a single decision. So AI can do wonders. So it's a very old field, about 75 years old. The initial theoretical thing started in the late 40s, and you'd say it's almost 75 plus years old. And the last 7 years, we have seen, a huge, I would say, change in the way the AI revolution has changed, particularly with the invention of so-called transformers. So attention is all you need uh, is a very popular paper. Uh, a team in Google developed this whole idea of transformers, and so basically, from understanding symbol logic, we are able to even track the context, and then it can map various contexts all together, just like we humans we do in a conversation, how we can understand context and how we can map these contexts together. And this really changed the way natural language processing was done in the past. So the whole field of large language models or LLMs was discovered in 2017, 2018, and uh, the GPTs. So GPT 3.0 changed the way, we did many things. It was one of the most used application, about a few hundred billion users, even in the uh, first few weeks of launching the GPT application. So you can imagine the way large language models and pre-trained transformers have changed the way uh, we used to do a lot of things. So generative AI is all about content generation. So depending upon what you want, whether you want to generate text, whether you want to generate images, whether you want to generate music, whether you want to generate some 3D signals. So depending upon, the model, so we need to train the models, and then depending upon the input, what you call as prompt, then you get answers to the particular question, or you can generate an image, or you can generate a caption for an image, or you want to recognize some objects, or you want to, do the system, do some pathway the instruct you want to follow, etc. So the practical applications are many, from content generation, like I mentioned earlier. Nowadays, you don't have to be a script writer for um, for producing a new movie. All you need is some prompts, some background, some characters, and then the AI could do the rest. For writing a poem in a different language, for example, I can write a poem in Bengali in few seconds. All I need is some basic ideas and some prompts. Even I can create artistic images better than an artist. New video contents. You might have heard about deepfake videos or animations, etc. So AI can be used in many different ways. Chatbots, like I mentioned earlier, uh, could be more natural with generative AI and engaging conversations with users. So code generation is another important area which is being highly used uh, by scientists, because nowadays there is no point in the coding from scratch. Now you can use generative AI models to assist writing code or debug your codes, etc., depending upon the usage. Data augmentation. In some cases, we might not have enough data to train the model, and many times we need to supplement the training data with some additional data. So generative AI could be used for, like augmenting such needs when there's a scarcity for images or videos or some specific data for training a model. So music composition is another big area where I think generative AI is doing wonders. Fashion design, so all you need is prompt. So the system can come up with, like designs which were not, I would say, uh, thinkable, few months before. Similarly, gaming, different gaming levels, and generative AI can be used for simulating various environments to enhance the user experience. Similar advertising and marketing. So basically, just like you might have seen Amazon recommendation system. So that is a simple recommendation model, but with generative AI, it can be more personalized, and basically these ads could be more engaging. Similarly, copywriting, uh, you can create catchy and relevant advertising copy, all with the use of prompts. Translation, real-time translation. For example, You can virtually listen to a conversation in another language in real time, not text, but even speech. Previously, all these things were happening, like for example, in United Nations, but nowadays, even I would say online platforms. For example, even like Zoom meetings or all these interactive online platforms. By integrating generative AI, we can easily translate the speech in real time, and this could be useful for many attendees. Education research, we can enhance educational experience, personalized learning materials, virtual tutors, image analysis, disease diagnosis, and treatment optimization. So these are, I would say, a very small subset of what generative AI could do in education and research. So now, so like I mentioned earlier, like generative AI is a huge area, and ChatGPT is one of the most popular platform for content generation, especially for text. So, I'm asking, like ChatGPT 4, what are the strengths of Sai University? So, and if you look at, it talks about diverse academic programs, esteemed international faculty, state-of-the-art infrastructure, robust placement support, comprehensive scholarship programs. So as you know, uh, ChatGPT is a product of OpenAI. And next, I'm asking Google Gemini the same question. What are the strengths of Sai University? So here you can see, it gives you answers from a different perspective. It talks about focus on interdisciplinary learning, emphasis on research and innovation, global perspective, strong faculty, modern infrastructure and facilities, industry partnerships, focus on holistic development. So you can see OpenAI's ChatGPT 4 and Google Gemini. You could see some intersection, but again, you could see a lot of differences as well. Now, let me go to Microsoft Copilot. I'm asking the same question. What are the strengths of Sai University's programs in India? So it talks about entirely different perspective. It talks about strong management and promoters. Could see university is backed by a resourceful and experienced management team, including prominent figures like K.V. Ramani, co-founder of NASCOM, and other eminent personalities from various fields, international faculty, interdisciplinary courses, state-of-the-art infrastructure, merit-based scholarships, autonomy, eminent governing body. So you can imagine it has touched certain things which are not covered by ChatGPT or Google Gemini. Now I'm asking Meta. Meta's Llama is another uh, GPT model uh, owned by Meta or Facebook. So it talks about academic excellence, infrastructure and resources, industry connections and placement, student life and support, accreditation and recognition. So you can imagine certain points which are not covered by, some other, platforms. Now, Llama is able to cover that. One of the recent variant, the DeepSeek. So it talks about interdisciplinary approach, focus on research and innovation, experienced faculty, state-of-the-art infrastructure, industry connections, and it continues holistic development, global exposure, commitment to sustainability, student-centric approach, innovative curriculum. So university offers innovative and flexible curricula that are designed to meet evolving demands of the job and society. You can imagine it is covering, Sai University from various perspectives. So if you ask me, like which is the best among all these, like GPT platforms for content generation, the answer is it's very difficult, for me to say which is the best because all these contents are based on the training data which you have provided. So depending upon the model, the learning algorithm, and the training data, you get, the results very differently. So don't you think it is very interesting if, we get a chance to build our own model? So that is all about, studying artificial intelligence from a foundational perspective. So it is not just generating text, but it's also generating media. For example, if I say that generate an image of a city with a medieval landscape with some mountains and with some cloud in the sky, just with these lines, you see this beautiful image generated by Midjourney. Similarly, Google Sora, just by prompting, writing a prompt, compose a video with a mother bear with two cubs eating salmon in the middle of the jungle. So this is Sora. Sora is beautifully created this small clip. So you can imagine, like by having, just those prompts, you can create stories, you can create movie scripts, you can create films, all just by using those nice prompts. So I'm sure all of you are very familiar with the importance of creating a sustainable environment, society, and community at large. So United Nations, just to make sure that our planet Earth is saved and all our population are taken care in the best possible way, the UN has formulated 17 different sustainable goals from no poverty to zero hunger to good health, quality education, gender equality, affordable clean energy, industry innovation, infrastructure, reducing inequalities, developing sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, partnerships for the goals. You can imagine these are the 17 different goals formulated by United Nations, and many universities, many industries, many governments, they are working 24/7 in achieving these goals from their own perspectives. And AI has been heavily used in all these 17 sustainable development goals. So you can imagine the importance of AI in real life, not just in solving our daily problems, but also looking at planet Earth, from monitoring forest fires to detecting uh, fire at home or some buildings, monitoring pollution, monitoring natural disasters, earthquakes, volcanoes, landslides, tsunamis, understanding global warming patterns in a very big way. It's not very easy to understand how the climate patterns are changing. For example, in a region, for example, in in the state of Tamil Nadu or in the state of Maharashtra or South India, you need to understand things at micro level mapped to macro level. Similarly, understanding salt and normal water levels, especially it is very important for a country like India, where we have three sides of the nation surrounded by water. So there are a lot of rivers flowing into the sea on both sides. We have Arabian Sea, we have Bay of Bengal, and we have Indian Ocean. So you can imagine all these rivers flowing into different seas and oceans, and you can imagine the flora and fauna living, at this intersection of these rivers and seas. So that salt and the natural water, that mixture, the flora and fauna. So monitoring all this, becomes very important for long-term sustainability. Similarly, understanding smart cities, from understanding traffic congestion, for managing wastes, to designing intelligent transportation systems, smart government, smart healthcare, smart farming, smart agriculture, smart buildings, smart energy, smart grid. So you can imagine, like nowadays we use the word smart in almost everything. So the idea is AI is in the backbone of all this. Healthcare is another big area, like I mentioned earlier. So today we are looking into not just looking at diagnostics. So whether we can do something to prevent uh, some serious diseases, or whether we can provide better uh, healthcare facilities to a patient in need, whether we can provide personalized treatment for uh, some patients or for some users who needs such care, etc. So generative AI has been heavily used during the last, I would say, 6, 7 years. So looking at an MRI scan, whether we can predict whether someone is going to get lateral sclerosis. It is a neurodegenerative disease which has no cure, unfortunately, but whether we can predict whether this patient might get ALS in few years' time, so that we can give better, I would say, life support during those final years, or prepare the patient to to have a better lifestyle. Similarly, looking at MRI scan and whether we can predict whether this patient might get Alzheimer's disease in several years' time. So just like we look at the sky and predict it might rain in 3 years, 3 hours time. Similarly, if you're looking at an MRI scan and enhancing the MRI scan using some artificial intelligence technique, whether we can predict whether this patient might get Alzheimer's disease or ALS or even Parkinson's in the coming months or years. Similarly, looking at mammograms. So typical mammogram, uh, typically it is black and white, and you might not be able to understand, uh, the details in advance. But if you look at, various profiles, for example, lipid, water, and protein profiles, uh, then we can see the same uh, mammogram from a different angle. So, for example, if you look at the screen here, you could see, some sort of, like signals, which may not be possible to see in normal mammogram. So by looking at different profiles, AI can see all the 65,000 shades, which if you use a standard mammogram, it is only 256 levels of shades. So possibly there is a big chance that we might miss some important signal, for example, like breast cancer. So if you look at protein, water, and lipid profiles, we might be able to predict a patient might get breast cancer in several months' time. So AI could be used, in many different ways. This is AI in the media industry, for example. If you want to see, how some of our temples were built. For example, you can imagine 800 years ago, Konark Temple. Imagine those big rocks and all this architecture marvels, how these were created. Can you visualize it? So AI, generative AI could recreate that history in a very nice way. You could see how they have transported these heavy rocks. So I guess that was a nice video showing you how, like a temple 800 years ago was constructed. So you can imagine, such things are possible using generative AI. So it's not just creating films, but you can also visualize how certain things might have happened in history. Similarly, generative AI is heavily used in legal profession from looking at documents review. You can imagine, like summarizing documents. For example, if you want to prepare a defense, you might have to study a lot of, similar cases and also look at all the evidences. And imagine if you're handling multiple cases at the same time. So you need AI for summarizing such information. You can use AI for predicting case outcomes. For example, if you study a judge's behavior and based on the current defense, what you have, you can easily predict this particular judge's outcome, how that is going to be. And then depending upon the defense you have, you can actually tune the way the case is presented, or even enhance the contents, or even change the entire defense strategy based on predictive uh, analytics. And you can also do things like estimating litigation costs. Virtual assistants, just like I mentioned, in different cases, for example, in personalized learning in education to virtual assistants, legal virtual assistants. You can imagine you can have virtual legal aid clinics. Imagine if you have a chatbot and you can provide service 24 by 7. Instead of having a physical legal aid, you can have virtual legal aid clinics, and where we can provide justice 24 by 7, especially for individuals who cannot afford traditional legal services. So AI could be used for handling, legal research, analysis, writing assistance, just like I've shown how GPT is used for drafting legal documents, contracts, and briefs. We can use AI for doing that. So nowadays, not nowadays, probably 10 years ago, all these things were, I would say, not so easy. For example, translating a document, for example, the Honorable Supreme Court, uh, when they make judgments, typically it is in Hindi, and imagine for translating that document to, for example, let us say Kannada or Tamil, it might take months because it's not just word by word translation, but the context and the legal interpretation, etc., should be looked into very carefully. But with generative AI, the whole thing could be seen in a very different way. From months, it could take to minutes. And then, finally, if a legal expert could go through the contents and approve it, then the translation could happen in few hours. Virtual learning, so tutors could be used for personalized learning experience, tailored to individual law students. At the same time, adaptive education, depending upon how I learn things, the AI assistant could offer, you offer the student different pathways, how to, make the subject more interesting and, you know, I would say to enhance the learning outcomes in the best possible way. In business management, from enhanced decision making to automated content generation, personalized marketing sales, improved operational efficiency, smarter talent management, faster innovation, and product development. So you can imagine uh, could be used in many different ways. In biotech and environmental sustainability, discovering drugs, synthetic biology, environmental modeling, sustainable design, energy optimization, etc. So I'm just getting into the last few slides or last few minutes of my talk today. So AI could be used as an innovation tool. So, so if you have a problem to be solved, or you want to make a better decision for some interesting problem, or you want to, tune some existing product, or you want to invent something totally new, or you want to generate some content. Okay. So AI is all about, bringing data and algorithms. So basically, depending upon the output, you tune the various parameters so that you get the best output. So the algorithm, the AI algorithm behind that is capable of adapting and giving the best solution, okay, for solving that particular application. So it can overcome any past limitation, improving the scalability, and it can be also very creative. So if you look at AI adoption, you can see AI is everywhere. If I use Swiggy for ordering food, if I used Uber for a ride, if you have used Airbnb for staying in a hotel or staying in a house when you're going on a holiday, if you used a modern camera, or if you used Alexa or Siri, if you have traveled in a modern car, if you have used a lift, AI is used in all these things. So the adoption, I would say, is in a very big scale, and the the way things are moving, I guess it is very like difficult for me to predict how AI would look like in the next 10 years. It's going to change a lot more things in the way we live, the way we operate, the way we do business, and it's going to have long-term implications for education and research. And at Sai University, we have designed a undergraduate program, B.Tech in artificial intelligence, which is very unique and very special when compared to other B.Tech AI programs. So idea is we will touch the foundational aspects and getting into, developing fundamental algorithms to advanced methodologies. Unlike, I would say, other programs which would teach only using some off-the-shelf libraries, off-the-shelf tools, tweaking it, tuning it, and getting some outcomes. And we also believe our students should be lifelong learners. So we also insist that our students are exposed to doing research right from the first semester. So every AI course would have a research component, about 15 to 20% research component, so that lifelong learning skills you will get trained when you are studying at Sai University. And compared to other programs, so AI is like a major, which means that you will study 50% or more in the B.Tech program, which means that nearly 80 credits, 80 to 90 credits will be dedicated to core AI courses. Plus, you have an option to do a minor, a specialization, example in media tech, healthcare, digital psychology, agri-tech, fintech, legal tech. So the idea is to train these graduates to contribute in those professional domains. For example, a B.Tech AI graduate specialized in media industry, we would expect the student would be able to contribute to develop new software for media industry. Similarly, agri-tech, we expect a student to develop software solutions either to develop some new software in the agri-tech industry or helping some community to understand certain uh, difficult problems which they're facing. So AI is all about innovation, like I mentioned earlier. So we will train our students to be more innovative, providing real-time solutions and contribute to the community at large in the best possible way. So how we compare with, I would say, other programs in other schools or the learning outcome. So I would say just because the way we have created our program. So if you look at the school website, you would see we have an international advisory board comprising of eminent professors, academicians from top universities, and I would say they're all famous for their research contributions. They have all done a lot of work in the AI field. So the students also will get the chance to interact with them in person when they visit India. They will also teach some courses as we move forward. Some of the students might also get the chance to visit their labs located in different parts of the world. So if you look at the advisory members, you will see them. They are from different countries. So some of you might get the chance to visit those labs. Some of you might the chance to work with industry experts. And the final year will be totally dedicated to, I would say, practical training. So internships and moving towards placement. So I would say a big difference from traditional computer science with a minor in AI and a B.Tech with a major in AI, I would say traditional difference will be the outcome. So you'll be more specialized in the outcome itself. You will get advanced knowledge of AI, which means that you'll also get better, I would say, salary structure right from the beginning itself, probably two times than a traditional computer science graduate might get. So I think that's all from me for today. So now I'm open to questions. So let me go to the chat window and I'll just try to answer whatever I have the chat window. So first of all, I want to thank all of you. I think I saw close to 70 participants. So I want to thank all of you for attending this webinar and uh, I'm looking forward to seeing some of you on campus. So we are located uh, close to Mahabalipuram, South Chennai. So it is just an hour from Chennai International Airport, and you're welcome to visit our campus anytime. Please get in touch with us. So let me go through the question. So, sir, AI can identify disease by saying symptoms what we have. Of course, symptoms, if we have symptoms, it is very easy, but using AI, we can predict. That is what I was trying to tell you. So, for example, if you're coughing and if the cough has some patterns, a doctor can easily tell that it is not normal cough, but it is something else. You need some further diagnosis. Probably you need an X-ray, you need an MRI, you need CT, and then based on the CT, MRI, doctors will make diagnosis. The same thing AI can do, probably in a much better way. So AI can smell because it doesn't have any sense. So basically, yes, it's all sensors. So I mentioned specifically it's sensors. So there are sensors which can understand, like nano level particles which contribute to smell, whether it is something sweet, whether it is something spicy, whether it is something toxic. So there are sensors which could be easily used for categorizing smells, smell patterns. So AI is all about understanding patterns. So if you have any sensor, idea is to understand patterns, right? So AI is, I would say, the training algorithm is designed in such a way that it learns from experience, right? Just like the humans in a way we do things. For example, if someone parks a car in front of your house, you might think, it is someone who is making a phone call, right? But imagine if someone parks the same car 5 times in 1 hour, which means that something is wrong, right? The same car, the same driver. That means something is wrong, you need to investigate. That's a pattern. We humans, we understand these patterns and we flag that there is an anomaly. So AI is something similar. We try to flag that anomaly and then we go to the next steps. So AI is all about, like I said, mimicking humans in the best possible way. So machine learning is related to AI. So machine learning is, I would say, a subset of AI. AI itself is a huge field. So I just covered probably 25% of what AI is all about. So AI itself is a big field, machine learning is a subfield. But because of the number of applications, a lot of success stories, machine learning is one of the mainstream in the whole field. So a lot of attention, traction is going towards machine learning these days. Okay, more questions? Any more questions?
Um, Sir, if I may interrupt, so sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Sir, at registrations level, we have few more questions, right? So while they are registering, I've collated into 4 to 5, right? So
Yes.
if I may,
Yeah,
so
please.
the first question is, the will the international faculty in School of AI brochure will teach classes, and if so, can I connect with them for research and internships?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, like I mentioned earlier, so we have about 15 international advisory board members, and some of them will visit us even in August, September for taking short classes because this is the first year of the program, and uh, they are coming for short classes this time, and eventually, as we move forward, we will have more faculty visiting us, and definitely students will have a lot of opportunities to interact with them and do research. Definitely, there will be a lot of opportunity towards that direction.
Thank you, sir. And one more question is the exam system for B.Tech AI, and how will the student be evaluated?
So, so we will have several, I would say, combination of several uh, methodologies. I would say first is internal assessment, which is, I would say, mainly various assignments, could be research exercises, reports, presentations, quizzes. Then we'll have midterm exams. Then we'll have final exam. So internal assessment could be could comprise of 40%. Then midterm exam could be 20%, and final exam could be 40%. So the overall percentage will be computed from all these contributions.
Thank you, sir. And third, I think, do we have any AI related clubs as of now at Sai University?
Yes, yes, I think we already have a club and we might have more clubs, probably more focused clubs. We already have an AI club, and moving forward, we might have more clubs because I think the student population is also increasing, and we are seeing a huge demand for, like our AI courses. So I think definitely we will have more specialized clubs. That is what I want to uh, mention now at this stage.
Perfect, sir. Thank you. I think at registrations level, we're done with the questions. We might have some open questions which are flowing in the chat box if we can.
And I'm just looking. Hello, Professor. I'm from Philippines. My question is, how can AI be further amplified through its integration with quantum computing? And what potential breakthroughs could this converge unlock across various industries? Okay, very good. So what I want to tell is, see, quantum computing is all about speeding up or scaling up the way we do computations. So definitely, if you look at all these modern AI platforms like GPTs, or they're very computationally heavy. So if you can use quantum methodology to minimize the computational aspects, the speed can be a lot more faster, which means that imagine, you can do things, a lot of things in real time. At the same time, you can also save a lot of energy because as per prediction that in 2025 we might spend 10% of the like electric power generated would be for AI, artificial intelligence. And imagine if you can minimize that computational burden using quantum processing. Definitely, that is going to have a big impact on environmental sustainability also, not just AI, but environmental sustainability also. So that is what I see, from these two fields directly. So the next question is Padapati Shashidhar. Sir, I do have a doubt that we'll have a good communication with the lecturers, for example, that we can ask the questions or the doubts. Yeah, definitely. So I think sky is the limit. You can disturb and trouble as many times you wish. As an academician, this is something which I would like to see. So we would like students ask questions as and when they want. What is highest package in Sai University? So, like I said earlier, this is the first batch uh, in the AI school. So, like if I compare with other other similar universities or schools, I would say the AI students should easily get a double-digit package. I mean, this is like the basics. So, like a package is something, which is very difficult to generalize. Because nowadays, all these big companies, for example, like Infosys and many big IT giants, they don't pay very well initially because they need to spend a lot of energy and efforts to train the graduates to meet uh, the requirements. So it takes, I would say, 3, 4 years, 5 years to get into, that range where you can also bargain your salaries. So the initial few years, one has to sacrifice if you're looking for big IT companies. Typically, startups, they spend a lot of money because they want short-term results. So you might get better salaries, probably double-digit packages, but you might end up losing the job probably after 2, 3 years because once they see that startup is screwed up or startup is not working the way it is, or it is going in a different dimension, or they need other skill sets, there is a huge risk as well. And many a times it's aspirations. For example, I want double-digit package, but I'm not working hard. I'm not very good in coding. I'm not good in reasoning. I'm not good with communication. So again, aspirations should also match our skill sets. So many times, we also see that huge difference between aspirations and the skill sets which is required by the industry. So at Sai University, we also have, like a mentor-mentee scheme, which helps you to understand what are your essential skill sets and how we can, groom you so that, you can match to certain industry sectors. For example, you might be good in communication skills, but not a not good in coding. Then we might need to find, some jobs which requires a person of that profile. So our mentor-mentee scheme is designed to map all these things nicely. Sir Vidutta Sri Madhavan, sir, I want to be a big entrepreneur in AI. What minor I should take? So I would say, AI is all about learning how to innovate. So I would suggest you should keep your things open for the time being, especially if you're new to AI. You should wait for 1 year to decide, which area you want to explore, whether you want to explore in biotech, whether you want to explore in media, whether you want to explore in environment, whether you want to explore in healthcare. So I would suggest, you can have the selection slowly. Any other questions from the audience?
So participants, if you have any other questions, you can post in the chat box.
So if any of you want to know more about, my research, you can just Google my name. I think probably that is the best way to, get to know about some of my research, etc. So I'll just put the first slide again. So you can find my name, and then if you Google my name, you can find, some of my research, what I've done, what I'm doing, all these things. Rishendra, and what will be the role of cybersecurity in AI? So yes, so cybersecurity is another big area. So like I said, AI is all about understanding patterns. So if you train, like a AI model to understand patterns from a cybersecurity perspective, you can detect anomalies, right? So like I said before, so if you see like a uniformed person with some hat with some stars, you understand, like it could be from some military or, some defense. And imagine if this, this person is, like carrying something or doing something, like probably, like drinking coffee in a normal coffee shop, probably might not be a real uniform staff. He might be a fake person wearing a uniform. We humans, we easily understand this, right? So understanding these patterns, so which could be easily used for cybersecurity as well. Anomalies, detecting anomalies in real time. How many companies did the Sai University? So basically, like I said, we have a strong tie-up with a lot of industries, like our governing board members. They're all from various industries. And like I said earlier, like what I find is nowadays students are not very interested in big IT companies because they don't pay very well. So they're more interested in, like I would say small scale companies, startups, which pays them well and, like allows them to work remotely or even in some big cities. So students nowadays, they are more fascinated in that direction. So we have no problems, in getting connecting with companies, etc. So Sai University placement. So we just had the first batch going out. So the first stream of computer science graduates, they will be graduating uh, in the coming semester. So that will be our first computer science batch. So I would say some of them are going for higher studies, some of them are placed, and I would say I also found that some of them are even planning to have some startups. So there are various, like categories of students. Which branch better option, CSE or AML? So computer science is more like foundations. So you might spend 50% or more courses which you might not use for, like if you want to choose AI as a career path. So if you decide to use AI as a career path, it is better to select that as soon as possible. It's better not to, like lose your time because you are spending a lot of energy for studying unwanted courses which you might not use in the future. So it's School of AI. What we do is we try to, provide the foundations of core computer science courses. Of course, without computer science, you cannot learn AI/ML. So basically, you will study the core computer science courses, and then we will build the foundations based on that. So I hope I was able to answer all the questions. So any more questions?
Participants, if you have any more questions, final call for the questions, you can post in the chat. Uh, Sir, I think if there are no more questions, we can wind up the session. That's
Okay.
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 Yeah. So I think thank you very much, sir, for this wonderful session. Now, and I think it was like AI plus X, where the X filled with every specializations which Sai University covers, right? Be it legal and everything. So, and thank you, participants, for attending the session. And a small announcement: if you would wish to pursue media as a minor or philosophy or literature as a minor, we have two more sessions planned up tomorrow. If you wish to attend, you can meet our dean, our faculty members from School of Media and School of Arts and Sciences. So probably you can have more insights on that. Yeah, I'm sending the link in the chat box. So if you're interested, you can spread the word as well. So thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, participants. Thank you.
Thank you, Nilay. Bye bye. Thank you all. Have a nice evening. Bye bye.